Here's a wild thought for you. What if a statement you never, ever heard could actually have a major legal impact on your life? I know, it sounds pretty much impossible, but that's the exact puzzle we're going to unlock today. I mean, really think about it for a sec. Could some promise that someone makes, or a fact they state out loud, secretly create a legal obligation for you? Your gut probably screams, no way, not a chance. But believe me, the law has some pretty surprising answers on this. All right, so to really unravel this whole thing, we've got to go back to square one. How does any statement create a legal effect in the first place? Well, it all boils down to one very simple act. Let's just use a simple analogy here. Picture a town crier back in the day announcing a new rule in the village square. It seems pretty logical that for that rule to apply to you, you'd have to actually hear him, right? I mean, of course. Information needs a recipient to have any kind of power. Now, in the legal world, they've got a fancy name for what that town crier is doing. It's called a representation. And this isn't just, small talk. It's a formal statement of fact that's specifically meant to get someone to do something, like, say, buy a car or sign a contract. It's a real cornerstone of how contracts work. So this whole common sense idea that you have to know about something for it to matter is so fundamental that it actually has a name. Let's call it the doctrine of awareness. Okay, so here's the crucial point. For a statement to have any real teeth, the person it's aimed at has to be aware of it. You can think of it like a bridge. You can't cross a bridge if you don't even know it's there. It's that simple. You just can't rely on a promise you never knew was made. And this is how it's supposed to work, the standard playbook. Step 1, someone makes a statement, that representation. Step 2, the person it's for, who lawyers call the representee, becomes aware of it. And step 3, only then can any legal consequence actually follow. It's a really clear chain of events. But what happens when one of those links is just missing? And this is where we get to the real heart of the puzzle. What happens when that second step, that crucial step of awareness, just never happens? Now we're wading into the very strange territory of the unaware representee. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What if the statement is made, but the person who's supposed to hear it is completely oblivious? Does that statement just, poof, vanish into thin air, legally speaking? Or does it still have some kind of hidden power? The legal texts get right to this exact point. This isn't just some hypothetical thought experiment. It's a real situation that courts have had to deal with. And the entire outcome, everything, pivots on this one single factor. Was the person aware or not? And the law basically creates this fork in the road. If you're aware, a statement can create real, tangible legal consequences. But if you're not aware, that same statement becomes, well, a legal nothing. It has zero power over the person who never heard it. So where does this definitive answer actually come from? You might think it's from some modern digital age lawsuit, but you'd be wrong. The precedent for this was set over 160 years ago. Yeah, that's right. Long before we had email or social media or anything like that, the Victorian-era courts were wrestling with this exact same problem. And the fact that this principle is so old gives it incredible legal weight today. And here it is, a case from 1858, Ex parte bitch. The whole thing involved a banking company and, you guessed it, a party who was completely in the dark about certain statements that were being made. This is the case that set the precedent that we still follow. Okay, so how does this 160-year-old case solve our modern-day puzzle? Let's connect all the dots and get right to the ultimate takeaway. The court in Ex parte Biggish made things crystal clear. The party who was unaware of the representation could not be legally affected by it. It confirmed that knowledge is the trigger. Without it, the legal gun just doesn't fire. Awareness isn't just a factor, it's the absolute key. It's the whole shebang. And that right there is the answer to our question. It's a principle of fairness that's woven deep, deep into the fabric of the law. A statement made in the dark, without your knowledge, simply cannot reach out and put a legal burden on you. But let me leave you with this final thought. Back in 1858, being aware was pretty simple. You either heard it or you didn't. But today, in our world of endless unread emails, terms of service we scroll right past, and notifications we dismiss without a thought, what does being aware even mean anymore? The legal principle is solid, but applying it in our digital age, well, that's a whole new puzzle. Something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.